at the end of, I could see at the end of that war, I mean, that's what's supposed to happen. Everybody's supposed to be so sick. This is what religion got us. Let's try it a new way. And, if, as we've talked about, before on our shows, I mean, if there was some sort of false alien element that basically agreed with George Bush being bad, these are the people that we've come to stop because it's the end of an age and you guys are ready for blah, 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 blah. And these are and by saying, here is the guy, these are the kinds of people that are cancer to you and your society, what they're in effect saying is Christians, because they've said Christians. George Bush is a Christian. Remember, he is for Israel. They're doing all this because they want to protect Israel, when really the New World Order just wants their ass in Israel and they want those holy sites. It's not, and that's not about anything else, about Christianity or anything else. It's just when I think about it, I think it's so heavy and so smart that it's almost too big for anybody to get, especially when we're all so prideful thinking that we've figured them all out, and just because we've used the information that they've told us with their agents, in my opinion, and we're all so prideful thinking, oh, we've got the New World Order figured out, when, there's a lot more to this story.
Absolutely, and I think that's a huge part of it. It all plays into pride, and you just look at it like the average 9/11 truther, right? They think they know something that for whatever reason nobody else knows. And it just kind of goes right into that like hidden knowledge thing again, where they're like enlightened beyond everybody else. They've figured something out that no one else is, for whatever reason, their parents can't understand, their siblings, loved ones, whatever. It's so clear to them, but no one else seems to be able to grasp it. And I don't know, there's just so much indoctrination and like just sleight of hand. I don't even know how I got to where I am right now, but there's just it's so layered. There's so many different layers of this that it almost seems like it would be impossible for anyone to actually set it up, let alone even understand the whole machination of the thing.
Right, and like the zeitgeist people, that's what they're doing at their Christmas parties. My parents don't understand. And then when they do talk, they're like, you guys don't even, this is about Horus and Jesus and, it's like, they really are really prideful in what they think that they know. And that's, I guess that's, it's presented in such a way that it's fact, and it does shatter your entire reason for being, it takes all the, possibility out of life. Maybe not zeitgeist. I think zeitgeist leaves kind of a new agey, kind of concept in there. But, like something like Sitchin, man, that's so mundane that, aliens came here and genetically modified apes for slaves, and here we are, and that's what we're here. There's no mystery. We're just remnants of, modified slave apes. And then it's like, well, what's gonna go on? Then you don't care anymore, and you're like, so the only thing you got left is pride in that particular, knowledge, and then I guess you easily slides into New Age thereafter though, because then you're all like, well, the innate power of humanity, is awesome, and we just got to learn a few tricks, and we can have all these neat powers that nobody told us about because they're big meanies, and they didn't want us to do awesome magic tricks, so.
Yeah, they just wanted to control us.
Yeah.
The whole thing, control, it just drives me nuts. When you look at Christianity, when you look in the Bible at what it was to be a Christian, these people were pretty much withdrawn in their own little subculture. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they were leaders. They weren't out like with this huge agenda outside of just spreading the word and loving one another and functioning as an extension of their savior here on earth, just trying to get the message out. And we're brainwashed by this whole concept of these people that are actually using Christianity to control and manipulate people. Whether it's George Bush or Pat Robertson or whoever, they actually are doing it.
Right.
And so when these people claim, well, that's what Christianity is, yeah, that's what these people who claim to be Christians are. That's exactly what they're doing. And I don't know. For whatever reason, that's another thing that took a long time for me to just to have it click in my brain. Okay, well, yeah, you're right. There are people doing that. I don't know why I didn't see that my entire life. I've had so many problems with the church and whatnot from the time I was a little kid. Why didn't I just, and it's got to be so easy for people just to fall into that and say, holy cow, they're totally right. It's probably all made up, and these people are just using this just to tell us, oh, no, don't live your life like that. Don't have, you need to suffer, and you need to do as we tell you to do, and it's all about just giving us earthly reward and taking it from you. So you tie in the New Age stuff with that, and yeah, then you have your magic tricks and your special power, your X-Men powers when you bring in the transgenic stuff. This world is just going in very weird directions. Yeah,
I agree. Well, I guess speaking of that, what's been going on? I look to you for my news. Has anything like crazy been happening in the news world?
The latest thing that I came across was, and you probably saw this, for whatever reason, I guess I just missed it, but they're either erecting or have erected a temple replica right opposite of the Western Wall in Israel. And it's in a museum, but it's an actual replica of the temple. And seems like no one knew this was being built. No one knew anything about it. But it's, I don't know. I'd really like to see pictures of it or something. I've only found one article about it, but quite interesting.
Was it like life size?
I believe so. There's an amphitheater, and there's some kind of...
An amphitheater?
Yeah.
In the temple?
I don't know if it's in the temple. I think it's in this museum where the temple is.
That'd be great, like in the Holy of Holies, and they'd have like some JBLs and like, surround sound and whatever, yeah.
Yeah, there's what was It was either 3D video or holographic video in there. No joke, like in this thing. But what else did you see? You saw the thing about the Phoenix lights and the lights in...
Yeah, I did see that. I didn't see I guess that's all I needed to see, really.
Some guy claimed that he did it. He launched these lantern things with balloons up into the sky. They were tied together. So I don't know. I watched a lot of videos of that, and that's just like crazy. I never even heard of such a thing. That they're like sky lanterns or something they're called. Actually, it looks pretty cool. I guess it's probably some occultic oriental based thing, but they just launch. Typically they have like these ceremony things, and you can watch these videos of them just launching like hundreds of these things up into the sky.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen those videos. But but you watched the video and it was obviously that dude.
I don't know if it was obviously that dude. His neighbor said that he saw him. This guy's not named. He doesn't want to be named. And they said that this person who's his next door neighbor saw him doing it. So, maybe.
Well, I do think that I don't have any problem with it being real, especially being in Phoenix, and I have no clue why, like the same thing with the Stevensville UFO, it's all on the 33rd parallel. What's the deal with that? Or the Roswell stuff, the Phoenix stuff, San Diego, all these different ones are in the 33rd parallel, and the one in Florida, the St. Augustine, is really, really, really close. But
yeah, I figured that. I figured it was. Yeah, I don't know. It could be real. It could just be someone just making stuff up to, not have people. You already had the governor of Arizona already lying about the first time the Phoenix Light things happened. He already, lied and then admitted that he lied about it and said, yeah, I saw UFOs, so who knows?
Well, see, I think that kind of stuff is a psyop. I think they obviously float stories that are intended to be picked apart as obviously fraudulent. It's part of the deal, like, okay, now you put out this story that's going to be totally debunked because it's the most ridiculously stupid thing. It's not even that heady. It's really like idiocracy kind of psyop, like, and then like, I figured it out, he was lying. It's like, well, obvious. Now we have to figure out, really, if we're thinking about it, we got to figure out why they floated the obvious story. And, then you got Nelson Rockefeller behind the disclosure, he's really knocking at the door of government, fighting for the American people. I mean, what's the deal with this? I mean, they're trying to do it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And whether or not there's something that's real or whether or not it's something that will turn out to be a government operation and like another black ops thing that, shows up, I'm sure, I'm totally convinced something is going to happen at some point where people are going to be presented with these things. And when I started the show, if I heard someone say that, I would have been like, you are nuts. You are out of your mind. And now I'm just totally, and maybe I just went off the wall or something, but like Humpty Dumpty, but I just am totally convinced they're going to try something.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I say it to my friends a lot, and, after, trying to wake some of them up, and I hate to bring it up, but at the same time I feel, and I know it, like, immediately discredits everything else I just said, but at the same time, I can't not say it, because if they don't have it in their head, the seed planted that somebody told me this before it happened, then they'll immediately believe the psyop, because I think this is going to be really good.
Yep.
So.
And just... What's that movie? The Expelled movie, the Intelligent Design flick.
Yeah.
I can't say enough how much Intelligent Design makes me sick. Nobody, Christians just don't understand that as you just kind of compromise away your beliefs, that you open the door for someone to then say, oh, so all along you've really believed this. It's just like with Sitchin or something, Oh, well, yeah, he believes in intelligent design, obviously. You have to stand up for your principles. You can't just, oh yeah, we all just want to get along. We want them to teach something that we kind of support in school. So outside of evolution, the next best thing is that just something somewhere that we believe to be God created us. I don't know. It really bothers me. Maybe it shouldn't, but it really.
No, it's true. I believe that's how they're going to get the quasi-scientists, the news media scientists, and everybody else, and the professors. That's how they're going to get them on board. I mean, because I know it's unpopular, but Darwinistic evolution is out. I mean, science is dynamic by its nature. It will change. It is unreasonable to assume that we have everything in nature figured out completely right now. It will change. Our concepts will change, and that is one of the things that is very clearly on the cusp of changing. So they need a place for it to go. They need somewhere to go. It has to go to intelligent design. DNA and the things that we've done with that have just proven that there's not really any other explanation. There's not enough time to go from the chimpanzees in Western Africa to the hominids and all that stuff. I mean, the evolutionists will argue blue in the face to it, but they just can't argue big issues. They got to argue small issues and talk about, crossing T's and stuff, because the macro issues they lose every single time, which is unfortunate because that's the whole premise here. I mean, there's no reason to cross T's and dot I's if there's no reasonable reason to assume that we should even go down that road in the first place as a reasonable possibility to explain these events. But anyway, that's a little rant, but I read that article you wrote about that. Actually, it was today, and I was really, really excited about that. I didn't never see that before, but you were right on and all that stuff.
Yeah, it just, you look at a guy like Ben Stein. Does that really seem like a very wise thing to make a video about, to make a movie about, and put it in theaters? Yeah, because you're going to get so many people, so many Christians out there that just, I support this. I'm going to go and I'm going to dump my money on this. And it just further indoctrinates them. And, intelligent design. Forget creationism. Forget God. Forget Genesis. Intelligent design. It's also simply summed up into little letters in ID. It just, I don't know. I didn't want to get, I could just rant for like 4 hours on it, but I think I did that to my mother the other night when she was like, I'm going to go see that Expelled movie. I just like went off. She's just like sitting there and didn't say a word for like 20 minutes, and then she's like, I'm going to go now.
Did you ever do like a whole lot of research into the technical stuff about intelligent design? Were you ever interested in all that?
I'm interested in it, but I actually have not ever really